Okay, think about this for a second. What if your entire company could think and act like one single intelligent creature? Well, that's pretty much the core idea behind a fascinating model called the Octopus Theory. It's a whole new way to unlock internal intelligence and get ready for AI-driven growth. Let's dive in. You know, so many big companies face this exact problem. I mean, they've got all the right stuff, brilliant people, amazing tech, tons of different services, but it's all fragmented, right? Stuck in silos. And that leads to this constant leakage of value just because the different parts of the company aren't talking to each other.
Which really makes you wonder, right? Why does this happen? Why do these super capable organizations, with all the pieces right there on the board, struggle so much to put them together and, well, win the game?
Well, the solution might just be a total shift in how we look at things. Instead of thinking of a company like a clunky machine, with gears and levers, what if we imagined it as a living system? Something that can actually sense, learn, and adapt on its own.
And that, my friends, brings us to our main character, the octopus. Now, this isn't about some massive, painful reorganization from the top down. No way. It's all about waking up the talent and knowledge you already have and turning that rigid, static company into a single, unified sensing organism.
So, how does this actually work in practice? Well, it all starts by looking at the incredible biology of the octopus and using it as a blueprint for a company. Get this, the octopus has 9 brains. Yeah, 9. There's one central brain that kind of handles the big picture, but then each of its 8 arms has its own little brain that can think and act independently. So how does this translate to a company? It's actually pretty brilliant. Think of the 8 arms as your different departments: tech, sales, ops, you name it. They have the power to make decisions on their own, locally. And then you have that 9th brain. That's your central intelligence hub. Its job isn't to control everything, but to harmonize it all, to make sure everyone's moving in the same general direction.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually build this thing, this organizational nervous system? Well, it all comes down to 4 key pillars. Let's get into them.
First up, Pillar 1, Awareness and Enablement. This is all about smashing those silos with super simple communication. Each team creates a really simple brief answering 3 questions. What do we do? What problems do we solve for customers? And, this is the key, how can other people in the company spot an opportunity for us? We're talking clean English here, no jargon. Okay, Pillar 2, you take all those simple briefs and you put them in one single trusted place. This becomes your centralized knowledge repository. This is now the company's single source of truth for what it can do. It keeps the messaging consistent and, man, it makes onboarding new people an absolute breeze. Now for Pillar 3, and this one is a game changer, the internal ambassador model. This is where every single employee becomes an intelligent sensor for the company. And look, their job is not to sell. Let me repeat that. They are not sellers. They're ambassadors. Their role is to listen, to spot potential opportunities, and then to connect that customer with the right team internally. It's about opening the door, not forcing a sale. And finally, we have Pillar 4, AI-enabled support. This is where you build a secure, on-premise AI that basically acts as the company's searchable memory. So an ambassador in the field can literally just ask it, hey, my customer has this problem. Which of our services could help? And boom, they get instant guidance. It's knowledge on demand, exactly when you need it. So you can see this is way more than just a new system or some tech. It's really about activating your people, empowering them, and getting them excited to be part of the whole. And this really drives home that core idea. Every employee is now an intelligent sensor. But let's be super clear on one thing. Sales ownership, closing the deal, managing the account, that all stays 100% with the sales team. This is so important because it prevents any kind of conflict or confusion. Ambassadors spot and connect. Sales owns and closes. Okay, so the big question is, how do you get people motivated to actually do this? Well, the way they handle incentives is, frankly, brilliant. It's not about giving everyone a sales commission. Instead, a contribution is treated like an assist in football or hockey. The person who set up the goal gets credit for the assist. It fosters this amazing culture of teamwork and shared success. So what happens when you put all of these pieces together? You get what's called the synchronized enterprise. It's this beautiful, flowing system. Let's walk through how it actually works, step by step. Okay, step one, sensing the market. Since every employee is now an ambassador, the entire organization is basically out there acting as a giant sensor network. They're picking up on everything: client needs, new opportunities, potential risks, way beyond what a traditional sales team could ever hope to cover.
Step 2, forming collective intelligence. All those little signals that are picked up by the arms then flow into the central AI hub, that ninth brain. The system takes all these scattered pieces of information and weaves them together, building this incredible real-time picture of what's happening out in the market. And step 3, on-demand intelligence redistribution. This is where we complete the loop. That central brain processes everything, figures out what's important, and then immediately pushes that strategic insight back out to the teams on the ground. It creates this amazing continuous cycle of sensing the market, understanding it, and then responding in a really smart, coordinated way. And this is the end goal. A truly unified organism. You have intelligence distributed everywhere, out in the arms where it's needed most. But you also have a harmonized central direction. And the payoff? You get systematic cross-selling, way better leads, and a culture where everyone feels like they're on the same team, rowing in the same direction.
So let's boil it all down. What's the bottom line here? You get systematic, scalable cross-selling. You get much better visibility into your pipeline. It's incredibly empowering for your culture, creating that sense of shared ownership. And it gets you AI ready without being totally dependent on AI. Best of all, it's actually realistic to implement. You can do this without blowing up your entire company. When you get right down to it, the Octopus Theory is this powerful blueprint for completely changing how a company can sense, think, and grow. It's about moving from being a fragmented machine to a unified living system, and that really leaves us with just one big question to think about. Is your organization ready to think like an octopus?
And that's our look at the Octopus Theory. It's a really fascinating model for organizational intelligence developed by Fadi Tawfik. Thanks so much for tuning in.